Sometimes the only way out of a sticky situation is to make sure no one knew you even had a hand in it, so don't get caught. In a time and place where misstep meets failure, you'd be smart to never let up, and to be honest, that just makes it so much better. A plain progression of lethal mission turned playground as the rush of adrenaline turns to a rhythm. A winning game's presumed repetition is ironically unnoticeable, for the flip side of forthright is engaging to a fault. With a penchant for subterfuge and a manner of repose, a stealth mission is a perfect blend of the calm and the storm. Okay, here we go. Peppered throughout most games in one way or another, the characteristically described stealth mission can come as a relief or an even harder challenge. I mean, discretion or its more common term, being sneaky, could arguably be described as a universally stressful concept. If you have the possibility of getting caught doing anything, your brain is practically forced into becoming a stealth machine fit with perfect aim and tippy-toe protection. But in the land of video games where flying trucks and cardboard boxes go hand in hand, erring on the side of discretion is a path ironically stamped with footprints. But they're stealthy footprints. It's no secret that after all this time, the gaming industry has a structured and honestly quite versatile picture of what secrecy in its many forms can look like. It would be crazy if that wasn't the case. When I say many, I mean a multitude of different detection mechanics, a menagerie of distraction noises, a myriad of movement options, and a lot of game over screens. Okay, I'm gonna get real with you guys. Patience is not my strong suit, as I'm sure you will see from the footage I need to make this video. No matter the angle on stealth and subterfuge I take, there will always be something so hilariously brutal that makes these missions the longest to complete, and depending on the level's variety, wink wink nudge nudge, can make these levels quite the thrill. Did you get it? It's ironic, did you get it? Perilous in nature, a stealth mission's surrounding jumping off points are disguised as obstacles. Hidden in a sea of relative regularity, the tools to success are always dressed accordingly. Butler disguises for a late night soiree, traversable air ducts in a skyscraper. The options are apparent because they're implied. City rooftops, hidden alleys, sewers, and hate carts are your own secret set of shortcuts that could keep a career killer set for life. I don't know how to go to the next part, so here's what I'm gonna do. Transition! The range of a person's skill all depends on the tools they are given and the information they have to act upon with them. Therefore, murder plus murder equals undetection. A veritable smorgasbord of kits and gadgets make a stealth mission a very useful proponent of the scientific method. You essentially become the sole arbiter of Murphy's Law. What can go wrong will go wrong, and it'll be really, really funny. All of this is amplified by the fact that these levels' various enemy types are meant to be easily predictable. The actions and inferences scouts and brutes will take are now based on their mental acuity, and they don't give the magic detection to the big guys. The 1,000,001 ways to bonk someone in the head or tie their shoelaces together, the Rube Goldberg-like combination of these bits and bobs feel like half the game in and of itself. The other half is of course running when they fail. Quick and nimble, teetering on the edge of sight, the scaling of a new environment comes to you almost like solving a puzzle. You are a rat sliding in a wall, climbing your way through a maze. I have made a lot of metaphors. Can rats slide? Throwing rocks or coins or even other people give you a simple but scrappy fallback and push the notion that if you have nothing else, being unseen is always the most important tool in your toolkit. Except your grappling hook. And your gun. Okay. If I had a silent shotgun, would I not be remiss to use it? Titans of creativity like Metal Gear Solid and Dishonored ferment a lot of replayability. Revisions of your actions can come with regret, but mostly warrant a second look at your loadout, especially if you have more options than you did then. The layered bonus of upgrades and New Game Plus make it so that stringing together abilities and consumables take your mode of execution to a whole nother level, and why stealth missions give you the most memorable levels in any given game. And now, I'm going to talk about my favorite ones. The Dishonored series is a chronically solemn one. From the city streets of Dunwall to the edge of the world Karnaca, you will always be rebelling alone, minding the enticing eldritch powers of a mysterious outsider. The Victorian steampunk art and level design purposefully hide a very complicated world and story under what is working very hard to be a sleek, buttoned-up presentation. With what could barely be called an institution, the surrounding society is rapidly declining, and the level of design reflects that. Alley corners hide sickly men, and city guards take care to hide whoever is truly in power. With a magic system mainly based on movement and a takedown system where the fallback is a shotgun to the head or a parry strike timing game, the open level design is free to interact and explore. A deal with the devil doesn't seem so bad when the only thing that's worth saving has been taken from you. And finally, we have the seemingly out-of-place Persona 5. A standard turn-based JRPG mixed with a slice-of-life Hidden Figures coming-of-age superhero story creates a stylishly unique setting that can only be described as the Persona series. The successive shattering of a teenage boy's life and shortly after his sense of reality can only be met with rebellion, as the string of mysteries surrounding the quite personal revelations of him and his friends are as important as they are dangerous. mainly used to determine the initial actions of enemy encounters, Persona 5 stealth mechanics are really paramount to almost every other aspect of the game. When acting brashly, you are not only punished immediately, but the repercussions of those mistakes leak out into Joker's daily life by taking time from crafting, side quests, or even just friendly events, all because of a poorly timed misstep. The enemy becomes more aware and you have to be even more careful, emphasizing the notion that these Phantom Thieves don't have the time to be lasered with their actions, no matter how cool Ryuji makes it look. Now before I get to my summary, I have to at least acknowledge the complementary coinciding that this spooky time of year has to offer, by which I mean the eponymous genre of horror games. A distant bang of hideous laughter sets the tone for a dread-filled game of hide and seek. In between the panic-pressed pause screen, you are forced to look at your surroundings with the eyes of a fearful gaze. Staying hidden is no longer just a tool, it is your only tool, for if an erratic action must be taken, you might as well have a breakdown with your hand covering your mouth. From a paranoia-filled close encounter to a frighteningly discordant chase, when in reference to the gloomy ambiance and the concurrences inside it, the character you are playing more so than most games is reactive in a way that is meant to help put the player even more inside their promptly shaking boots. Worried remarks, shaky breaths, mom spaghettis. These characterizations lead to a feeling of helplessness evolving into scrappy perseverance. You'll notice that most horror games utilize a main goal of object attainment with an underdog protagonist. You need to navigate your way to these various objectives to escape or divert this almost impossible situation, all whilst being unseen. Sounds like a tall order, and it is. These people fight tooth and nail against traumatic situations and unimaginable horrors for a small chance to be okay again. In a weird way, it's kind of a hopeful genre of video games. And there's also those weirdos who like being scared, but if we talked about weirdos all the time, we'd be here all day. So, to summarize, truly the deadliest game of hide and seek, the characteristically described stealth mission is a master of suspense and slapstick comedy all at the same time. So, all you bright-eyed techno foxtrots out there, don't get too caught up in your faults, and keep your creativity inspired. Thanks for watching, and watch your back.